The term gaslighting, the term that you use to describe a lie, that plus equals you're calling someone crazy. You're calling you crazy. I'm sorry. You're saying that when you say someone's gaslighting you, not only are you saying that you are lying, but you are crazy. Now, the more honest way to say what YouTubers and people who do YouTube, or people who talk about YouTube about the shadow ban situation, they're out lying to you. They're lying to your face. Now, you could say gaslighting, but the proper word to say is lie. They like to lie to you. They like to lie to you because they don't want to admit the fact the way YouTube works now. Back in the day, YouTubers used to have a half-life, you can say. This worked with every social media back in the day, where if you stay on long enough as a creator, you will eventually fall off. That's the term, fall off. But what happened? Fall off, it's not really a thing anymore on YouTube. You literally see now that most of the big YouTubers are way past their prime, but because YouTube promotes them in the algorithm, i.e. they're whitelisted on YouTube whitelist. Same thing with Mr. B, same thing with some ordinary gamers, same thing with Moist Critical. These people try to pretend that they're your friends and, trying to pretend they're the little guy. These people are millionaires. These people don't understand even upper middle class people. They're rich. They're beyond rich. They're celebrities. They're the modern day celebrities. And YouTube's basically become TV. And, instead of just saying, no, you can't stream on YouTube or can't post videos on YouTube, they just shadow ban you by default. And YouTube will pick who they want to go viral. Like, you can say YouTube is a glorified slot machine. I've been saying this before, and, people say you keep repeating this stuff, and why you keep talking about it, because YouTubers are too afraid of this. They're afraid when I talk about this. Back in the day, it was well known if you said shadow ban, you would get shadow banned for talking about it. People believe that it was like saying the equivalent of the N-word when you said shadow ban. They treat it as a racial slur in YouTube's algorithm when the first term came out, because people realized, because back when the term shadow banning was a thing, it got popularized because of YouTube, because it's such a mass. YouTube got definitely panicked because people don't, YouTubers and YouTube themselves are, like the big YouTubers are afraid that if people bring up shadow banning, then that means they'll find out the game is rigged. They don't want that. They want you to keep going with that slot machine. They want you to keep going at that gambling addiction. And if you admit, if YouTube, now technically there is a video which is in French and I got to translate it into English. They had to admit in a court of law that yes, we do have systems that will suppress political opposition. Now you can say, well, that's just political opposition, that's done by the government. The problem is, they do it more with just political stuff. They do it with non-political stuff, anything that's even remotely critical of anything that they don't like you to talk about, overly positive, overly negative, something that can help people, something that can destroy people. It doesn't matter. It's not just politics. The genie is out of the bottle. They use this more for politics, more for than governments tell them to suppress the content. Which, by the way, if you suppress a political rival, you give them more political power. There's a reason why the far right has basically control of America now because of their suppression of their videos, banning them, shadow banning them. And, it's been proven. I was watching a YouTuber recently, and this guy would get tens of thousands of views per video. Hundreds of thousands. And then all of a sudden, he started to get far less views. Now, why is that? Because he was punished for doing something different. And you can say, well, that's how the algorithm works. This shouldn't be a thing. This wasn't a thing back in the old YouTube. So it's not the old YouTube no more. Well, if you want this to keep going, then don't be... Whenever I hear like deep humor complain about these AI videos or these weird content farms or all sorts of weird videos, don't complain when they do this, because they're doing what the algorithm wants. They're making AI content, and they don't have to say it's AI up front. They don't have to. There's no laws against it. That's the reason why it's like, oh, why don't they press it where this video is AI so they won't get monetized? Because they know they won't get money, so they'll just say, put it all the way in the description so they won't get sued. He was making a video talking about how, oh, there's this YouTuber who's making fake AI videos of old people talking about life experience. And it's like, who the fuck cares? You're fine with the way YouTube's algorithm is, because Deep Humor's fine with the way the algorithm is. He doesn't care that the algorithm is completely fucked. And if you deviate from any topic that's very niche, then you get fucked over. He doesn't care anything about that. He hates it when people, take advantage of it. But he should realize the only way you're going to fix that if you go with pre-2016 algorithm. Where, yes, you had to go with a niche, but it was fine to go outside your niche because it was the audience that gave them the views. Because back in the day, you would give your audience what they wanted, not the algorithm. And that's the problem. We need to give the audience the control, not the algorithm. The algorithm, yes, it has helped a lot of people, but now it's pretty much the only way you can grow. That shouldn't be a thing. We're not talking about TikTok. But the thing is, TikTok does it better at least, because they made their algorithm where small people grow by default. They give you a minimum amount of views. That's why you see random people go viral sometimes. I have gone viral several times on TikTok. Why is that? Because the algorithm's better. YouTube is trying to pretend they're TikTok, but the problem is, since they've been going with their AI algorithm system, most people don't grow, and the only people you see get views are these big YouTubers. And YouTube and YouTubers are the only group of people that if you point out 100% proof, I can go up to the CEO and say, you do shadow ban. He can legally not sue me. He can legally not sue me because I am technically right. There is so much documented proof showing that shadow banning is a real thing. It's been proven. Just even if you don't believe in like the kind of beliefs I believe in, you can just prove it by demonetization. If you get demonetized with your video, you lose that view retention. That just proves it. They don't tell you that happens. And that means it's shadow ban. Now, people say it's de-incentivized, or you gotta say a different word. I remember, I forgot who said it. I think it was Mr. Beast. He says, you need to say the people wants this instead of the algorithm. I know I'm going friend about it. I just thought about that right then when Mr. Beast saying that, oh, don't call it the algorithm, call it the people. It's like, no, it's technically not even the people. You grow by the algorithm, not by the people. People don't have shitty retention spans. It's just YouTube prevents people from growing. And you can say, well, why is that so bad? Well, if you feel like you're not listened to, you feel like you're being mistreated within the algorithm, that's something that, it doesn't understand human thought, it doesn't understand human emotion. that's going to cause a powder keg. Because when you have a group of people, it doesn't matter political, social, community-wise, you're going to make them more radical. Maybe they could be just talking about toys, and next thing you know, they realize, oh, I'm not getting views. Then I'm going to just talk more radical shit to where I'm going to get views. That's the reason why you see so much rage bait on YouTube. That's why you see so much drama tube channels. That's why you see it, because it draws people's attention to where they won't look away. You know, people talk about all this fucking drama slop. Well, YouTube is making it with the algorithm. And even people within YouTube say, we hate this shit, we hate drama content. Then why you made an algorithm that basically promotes them, because it's the only thing that people pay attention to, because rage bait just always does. Instead, go with pre-2016 YouTube. If you don't, you're going to cause more people to use rage bait. I don't always like to use rage bait, but I have to. Me just doing this video is going to cause some people to rage bait. I guarantee one person is going to do that. A fucking weird Russian shell person. I guarantee it. That Russian shell is going to come up and try to complain about my voice. And let's see, what's another thing? Try to call me a pedo or something, some weird shit, or some. Let me think here. You call me a pedo, a shardy pedo, whatever. He's going to defend Kiwi Farms that swat people all the time, who almost tried to kill Christian, who has a school shooter connected to them. All this weird shit. And I don't get views. What am I doing wrong? Huh? No, there's nothing I'm doing wrong. It's just the algorithm hates me. The algorithm deemed me as a problematic person, so instead of banning me, which most websites will just ban me if they don't like me, they suppress my algorithm. They suppress it. Oh, you just feel like everybody's against you. No, this is just a proven fact. And this is how you get the radicals. This is how you got Trump won. This is how you get all this fucking crazy shit to happen. You want the algorithm, you want rage bait to stop. You know, CEO of YouTube, the Pajit owner of YouTube, then go back to pre-2016 algorithm, where you still have an algorithm, but it's not as effective. You know, you still use search to find people, and make it where the audience gives the chance people grow, not the algorithm. Because if you keep doing this, then guess what? You're going to get more radicals. You're going to make it where people, if they feel radical enough, they're going to go to different platforms. They can say, well, they're gone now and they don't matter. Then they're going to become more radical. You're going to make a pocket of, like, build up a gas. I'm talking about metaphorical. And you're going to cause issues. So don't get mad when you cause radical. It's YouTube. Like, YouTube is a radical hotspot because of their algorithm. Because they want people to keep on their website as long as possible, so they can keep scrolling and scrolling to find what they want, because they know the search bar on YouTube is useless. I was looking at multiple videos for like an issue I was having like several hours ago, and I literally had to go on like Google, like I always do. I had to go Google their own web search. Search it up by YouTube. You know, that's what a lot of people do these days. They have to search up a topic, a how-to or something, and then they put YouTube at the end, so they will get YouTube videos only. And because of that, it still has a good algorithm. That's what you have to deal with these days on YouTube. It's fucking infuriating.